All right, family, let's jump right in. Dear Dr. Dandridge, it's been almost a year since my mom passed, and I honestly don't know how I made it this far. These past months have felt like a blur. Sometimes I cry until I can't breathe. Other times I convince myself I'm fine. But now, with the 1 year anniversary coming up, it feels like I'm right back at the beginning. The grief is louder, heavier, and I feel like I should have been further along by now. I'm dreading that day because I don't know what to do with it. Do I celebrate her life? Do I hide in a room and cry? Or do I just pretend like it's another day? How do I make it through the first anniversary of losing someone so close without falling apart? Well, first, let me say thank you for writing in. Thank you for sharing your story, your experience, strength, and hope. There are a couple of things that you said inside of your letter that I just want to address. It's been a year, and inside of the work that I do, I tell my families that the first year is always going to be your hardest year. That's one of the reasons why with hospice care, you typically get a chaplain, you typically get a spiritual care coordinator or bereavement coordinator for the first year after your loved one has passed. The reason why we do this is because, like I said, the first year is the hardest year. You have birthdays, you have holidays, you have anniversaries, you have just things that happen. And just to be honest, it's really an adjustment that first year. And coming up on that 1 year anniversary is oftentimes the hardest because, just like you said inside of your letter, you start to kind of relive that moment. A lot of people that I work with say that they can almost identify by the minute when they found out that their loved one had passed. So what you've been going through over these last 300 and almost 65 days, it's hard. I'm just gonna be very honest with you. It is very, very hard. And I can understand coming up on that 1 year anniversary, just the level of emotions that are kind of resurfacing themselves. You said inside of your letter, I don't know how I made it this far. A lot of people, and we'll talk about inside of an upcoming conversation because I had someone else write in and it literally took them years to even acknowledge that their loved one had passed. But you said that it feels like a blur. Like this past year has been like a blur. I can honestly say that when my father passed 7 years ago, the first week after his passing, I honestly cannot tell you what my mind was going through, what I did, what I ate. I just know where I was and what I was doing because, of course, as a son, you're planning, you're traveling. And to be quite frank, the first year for a lot of people really does feel like a blur. Like you're kind of managing your emotions, you're managing finances, you're managing estates, you're managing other family members who are also grieving. So it's normal. It is natural for this year, for these past 300 and some odd days, to really feel like a blur, to really feel like what in the world just happened last week, or what in the world just happened past this past January or this past holiday. Things kind of do look and feel a little fuzzy. And like I said, it's 100% natural, it's 100% normal. I love when you said that you convinced yourself that you were fine because a lot of people that I work with put on this hat, put on these sunglasses, put on this mask. And after losing someone, after experiencing a level of loss, and I can't imagine um, what you're experiencing losing a mother, and it sounds like you were very, very close to her. Convincing yourself that you're okay. Let me say this: if you're not okay, it's okay to not be okay. One of the things that I hope that my platform pulls out of people is that you don't have to be okay. I think one of the things that a lot of us kind of fall victim to is our environment telling us you're going to be all right. Just keep living, or pray about it, or go see a counselor, or the days will get better, or the days will get easier. And I'll be very honest with you, that's probably the worst advice that you can hear. That is probably the worst mantras that people can tell you. And what it does, to be quite frank, it literally convinces those of us who are grieving that, yeah, maybe we are okay. Maybe we are going to be all right. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't allow us to truly sit with our emotions, to truly sit with our feelings, to truly sit with the guilt, with the anger, with the sadness, with just the plethora of emotions that's taking place. Let me get to your question. Because you said that I feel like I should have been further along by now. I say this inside of my book, Designing Your Goodbyes. There is no timeline for grief. There is no start line and finish line. Grief comes in waves. There are days where you have your peaks, and then there are days where you have your valleys. And we can't look at it as this linear styled journey. Uh, Sometimes you're going to feel as though you are at your lowest of the lows with memories, with feelings, with anger and sadness. But then there are also going to be days where you're going to feel as though you're at the highest of the highs, where you just feel joyous and happy and grateful and just in a very, very good place after experiencing loss. So I don't want you to feel as though the journey that you're taking is by steps to get to a finish line. Okay. Where you are right now is exactly where you need to be. What you are feeling right now is exactly what you need to be feeling right now. So don't feel as though you need to be further along for yourself or for anybody else for that matter. But to get to your question, how do I celebrate her life? Do I hide in a room and cry, or do I just pretend like it's another day? The simple answer to that is to do what feels authentic to you. If your emotions, if your feelings are telling you to cry, lock yourself inside of a room and watch a Hallmark movie that is going to make you just bawl your eyes out, do that. If your emotions are telling you to go for a walk in nature, to just be closer to the spirit of your mom, guess what? Do that. If your emotions and you're kind of feeling a trip to Spain, go ahead and do that too. If you want to be around a lot of people, call up your friends, call up your support system, call up your group and say, hey, I need to be around somebody on this anniversary of my mom's death. If you feel like being absolutely alone inside of a dark room, then guess what? You can do that as well. What I like to encourage people inside of whatever part of their journey that they're in is to do what feels right for them. Now, do it with caution because, like I say, inside of Designing Your Goodbyes, we can have too much support and then we can also go into isolation where we don't get enough support. So, do whatever you feel is balanced for this season of your life. Okay. Do some type of ritual. One of the things that I always speak about is rituals. Do some type of ritual, something that whether it's lighting a candle, planting a tree, volunteering at a local shelter. If your mom loved animals, go to the animal shelter. I mean, do something in order to honor the loss on her anniversary if you'd like to. But I know it's hard and I know it's going to be difficult, but you've made it through the first year. I can honestly say that, well, no, I can't honestly say because for some people the years actually get harder, but you've probably gotten through the hardest part, which is the first year. Next year might be worse. Next year could be better, but give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a hug. Show yourself some compassion. Show yourself some grace because you did make it through the first year, which for most people is going to be the hardest year. Okay. Thank you for writing in. Thank you for allowing me to be with you inside of your journey. I hope and I pray that this advice, as well as your story, will touch and maybe encourage someone else who is coming up on that anniversary of the loss of their loved one. I'm Dr. Dandridge. Thank you for joining me here at Designing Your Goodbyes. I look forward to journeying with you inside of whatever season of grief and loss that you're experiencing and change that you might be experiencing inside of your life. So I'll see you inside of the next episode, okay?